Hello, you are watching REEV. My name is Woody and this is Deepal S05. We will do a full review, so let's get to it. This is one of the very interesting cars because it is not a pure EV, it's REEV. In Thailand right now, we call it the B+ SUV segment, the EV segment, which is very fierce competition. So this here is the Deepal S05. This will be our first clip in English, and the reason is because usually a lot of people are doing a lot of cars already, but I figure that in Thailand we have this free trade agreement with China, which means we're getting loads and loads of new Chinese brands coming in monthly, and I think it is interesting for you enthusiasts out there to know what is going on in the car world on the other side of the globe. So we will start doing some clips, especially with Chinese EVs. So just let me know what you think, put it on the comments down below. And so yeah, let's go back to the Deepal. So this here is the Deepal S05. This is one of the very interesting car because it is not a pure EV, it's REEV, which means it's a range extended electric vehicle. We haven't seen those quite often because I'm guessing that people who does marketing realize that the infrastructure for charging in Thailand is not that common just yet. I mean, it's more than ever, but it's still, there's some waiting time. So this gives you that flexibility. So what this range extended does is that it actually has an extra engine in there, not to drive the car, but to charge it when the battery is depleted. So with this car, with combined range, it claims that it can do 1,000 kilometers range based on NEDC standardized. Now we just do basically a normal road driving, track drive. So let's do a quick walk around. If you're familiar with the brand Deepal, you see that they always go with this type of lighting in the front with the LED lights, this kind of design. They try to keep it clean. So the tires on here, these are 18-inch wheels, and on the side it's pretty clean with the door handle. It kind of hides in. This is pretty nice, and you can see that there's a gas lid on the left side, and on the right side is for charging. Home charging or AC charging can do like 7 kilowatt hours, so it's not very fast, but keep in mind that you also have the gas that you have to fill in here. The bit that I like the most is the third brake light. It's kind of nice up here. So yeah, overall it's very clean design. When you get inside the driver's seat, it's actually quite nice. The touch point, everything else is kind of soft. It's not leather, of course. Even though this is not branded, it says Deepal Audio, but the design, I think it's quite nice here. The center screen, it tilts to the driver when you get inside the car. So that's kind of a nice feature. Here is the charging. You got USB charging on the bottom. There's storage everywhere. So on the right side is actually the gear shift lever. On the left side, you control the turns indicators and the windshield wipers. And the interesting bit, and I find this with a lot of Chinese cars, is the windows. So if you push it down, it actually goes up. And if you push up, it actually goes down. It's a little bit different. The screen, it's quite fast. It's pretty straightforward. There's English language you can do. There's autopilot. So this supposedly can do a level 2 autonomous driving, meaning that there's a lane keeping, front collision warning, lane departure, all that stuff. It's here. And this is very typical of the Chinese car to have all the options. It just proves that it's the way the EVs from China they usually do is that they dump everything they can possibly do into the car, which is, it gives the value for money sense, which is kind of nice. So let's see what it's like in the back. It's pretty straightforward. The touch point is nice. There's air conditioning outlet here, 2 USB ports out here. Overall it's nice, but it's really not fair because I'm about 5'5", so about 170 centimeters, so I'm not that tall, so I can actually easily fit in any cars. It gives you the panoramic glass roof with the shades, and it gives you the feeling of open space. So this whole bit, it's okay, especially for the price that we're getting. So now let's see, because we do this in REEV, so we try to give you the sense of how much stuff it can carry. So we'll load up the storage with water bottles and also load up the back trunk with some luggage and see how many luggage or how many water bottles it can carry. So let's go to that. On the front doors, each side you can put 4 in on each side. On the cup holders, there's 2, and the armrest. So if you pull out the armrest, it's almost like it has like 2 steps. The lower steps you can put 8 bottles, and when you shut that, and the upper deck you can do 2 bottles, and you can still shut the armrest. Just this part here altogether, that's 10 bottles, and underneath the center console you can also put 3 bottles. So that's all in the front. Move to the back side. Each door on the side, it's 2 each, so that's 4. On the armrest, you have to put it down, and that's 2 bottles. So the total of 29 bottles in this car. Right, so right now we will talk about the capacity of how many luggage we can put in the back of this car. We assume that you want to go 5 people and you're going on the weekends. What we do at REEV here, we actually use our luggage. So basically the small one is the carry-on size. The middle size one, that's the medium, that's for check-in, and then that's a large check-in. So I'll put in the inches down below. So let's see how many bags we can actually put in without folding the seats, and it should shut shot properly. So let's do this. And it shuts, ladies and gentlemen. So, which means you don't have to fold the seats. You can basically go on a very long trip. Remember, this car actually has an engine here, so the space is actually smaller than the regular BEV. So it works. Great, fantastic. Okay, before we get into what it feels like to drive this car, if you put your hand on the seat adjustment, you start adjusting, it will say drive position, and you can even do more seat adjusting and exterior mirrors. So this is quite interesting. If you don't want to do that, you can do this shortcut here by dragging down the right side of the screen like so, and you see that these are all the adjustments needed. So how does it feel to drive this car? It's very soft, it's very smooth. The steering is quite light, and I found that this is the actual characteristics of most Chinese EVs. So they're setting like that. If they don't want you to go super fast, the speed is there for you to overtake and stuff, but they focus on ride comfort. It'll be interesting to see how it does on track. Yes, we will take it on track, and I'll tell you why when we actually get there. But the point is, it's really focused on a normal road usage. Yeah. I don't know if you're from other markets. I don't know how much this car is in your markets compared to other cars in its segment. But for Thailand, this is because we don't have to pay tax, so the price is quite low. What we're paying and what we're getting compared to other brands from other countries, you get this kind of build quality, this kind of tech, this kind of options. So it is an advantage. You know, it's very tempting. You know, you can get this premium design and this nice smooth riding. If you don't have a screen here, you have head-up display, and so you don't have to take your eyes off the road. The ADAS system, I will not talk about that in this clip. Actually, in any clip that deals with Chinese EV, because it's now in China, it's kind of like almost industrial standard. So every car at this price range will come with full ADAS. So yeah, like I said before, we're about to take it on track. So we'll do a track drive. We will even do time session because you can compare it with other cars that we did, and 0 to 100, and the braking distance from 120 kilometers down to 0 emergency brake distance, measuring with our GPS tool. So let's see how it does on track. Let's get to the track. Right, so now we'll be doing some laps at our home course, which is the Thailand circuit. Nobody in the right mind would bring this type of cars onto the track, but you know, we're doing this because we actually have some records of time trials from the cars being tested for a long time now, and we have some of the comparisons, say cars like Omoda, BYD, the Auto 3. So we actually have the lap times here. You know, we just wanted to make to compare, see if you know what this car is pinned up against its competitor, how it does. And keep in mind though that this car is actually about 150 kilograms heavier than the regular EVs because of its range extended. And you know, usually, and this is normal, if you have the car that's quite comfortable on road, you will find it not very track friendly. Of course, it's a rear wheel drive, which means that when you turn the car into the corner, it worked, but then you know, you have this kind of like weight transfer, shifting left and right. So again, you know, it's not a track car. We're doing this just for comparison, but overall, I still think as a SUV for everyday use, it's still a good car. The other thing that I wanted to do is a rear wheel drive car. So if it's a rear wheel drive car, then I see the button ESC off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, confirm. And let's see if you can have a little bit of fun with this. First corner, go in, turn, and then try to push down the, so it does oversteer. That's cool. Hey, you might say that, yeah, you know, this type of cars, you know, when you drive on the track, it's not very stable, you know. But because of this constant weight transfer, it gives you plenty tail happy type. A little bit of oversteering here and there. Like, look at that. You can do it everywhere. So that's, you know, try a little bit of fun in life. I mean, some people will say, hey, you're driving a normal car, normal SUV, but you know, you can always try to find a little bit of a fun factor. That's just a little bit. Let's see, next corner, see if we can do some mean oversteering. Okay, let's see. So that is just for some sliding and some, you know, what it feels like to drive on a track. But let's see how it does compared to its competitors on a time trial. So let's go to that. We can see now that the car itself, for road usage, it's very nice to drive. It's very soft, very comfortable. The capacity, it's overwhelming. You know, there's a lot of storage spaces and there's a lot of space for our luggage. Actually, the whole sets of luggage can go onto the car very easily. Have all the safety functions required. But when we take it on the track, and I have to highlight this one more time, the reason why we took it on track is just to see the overall handling. Yeah? But overall, it is a very good car compared to what is in Thailand right now. We call it the B+ SUV segment, the EV segment, which is very fierce competition from BYD, and we have from Omada. Compared to this, maybe because this car is newer than the BYD, so it's more interesting to me at least. The design, everything, it looks more modern. But compared to another car that I have driven is the Omoda C5 pure EV. That one, it's a different character because that one is a front-wheel drive and it's focused mainly on drivers. Would I get one? If you're in the market for it, this is something that you should definitely consider. So there it is, all the stuff that you need to know about REEV from Changan Deepal S05. So let us know what you think down in the comments, what you like, or if you think this clip is working, because this is our first English clip. So if you like it, hit subscribe and we'll see you next time.